Hey, welcome, yo! That's right. This is the Pregame Engineer Tailgate Mayor Racing Podcast, episode number 65 for Tuesday, September 27, 2016. I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace, joined in the PETM Podcast studio in Atlanta, Georgia by Pregame Engineer Andrew Sherwin. What's up, buddy?
We're live again, number 65. We got a good episode coming for you, y'all, and a guest. I think you guys are really excited to hear what this person's got to tell us today.
And that person is Mr. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver, Jordan Anderson. Jordan, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys tonight?
Oh, we're rocking and rolling.
Fantastic.
We're ready to do this show. We're real excited to have you on. Can't tell you how much we appreciate you being on the show, especially after all that you've done in the last week. Man, we got so much to talk about. We're real excited for the show.
Yeah, no doubt, man. A lot of crazy stuff has been going on and off the racetrack, so looking forward to bringing you guys up to speed on what's going on and kind of tell everybody what I got lined up for the rest of the year.
Excellent. So first question we always have, doesn't matter if it's just me and Sherwin sitting here, doesn't matter if we've got the President of the United States on. Question is, what you drinking tonight, Mr. Anderson?
I got a 16.9-ounce bottle of Aquafina water sitting right here in my hand tonight.
All 16.9.
Getting the hydration in.
That's right. Hydration.
It's necessary.
I got a little water on the rocks tonight.
Sounds delicious.
Too bad.
I'll probably need a lot of that tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens. But
could be
tonight. We
have gotten it. What are you getting?
Well,
into
I opened up. We've lost a legend, Mr. Arnold Palmer.
Oh goodness!
And
Absolutely.
so in his, Sherwin's got to open his up there, very loudly. I found this twisted tea, half and half. It's half iced tea, half lemonade, and it's alcoholic too. So kind of a John Daly a little bit. But in honor of Mr. Arnold Palmer, we're drinking the twisted tea, half and half thing. I'll take me a little sip.
King. Cheers to the king.
Cheers to you.
I shed a tear over that. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Jordan, are you a golf fan at all, or knew much about Arnold Palmer? You are.
I actually played some golf as a teenager. I was I won my age about 2 years back to back when I was 13 and 14. Played a little bit of golf back in the day. So Arnold Palmer was definitely a hero and an icon of the sport. And it was certainly a sad day across all sports, but just seeing the things that he accomplished in his life and what he did for so many people and the person that he was, man, he's definitely going to leave a legacy on golf and all the sports.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I think I heard something very interesting yesterday was from people or from friends that are a little older than me, have a little more perspective, said that Arnold Palmer was the Tiger Woods before there was Tiger Woods, in a sense that he showed up with the bravado. He was a big hitter, and he was one of the first golfers to really pull in sponsors that were not related to actually playing sports or playing golf. Like we see now IBM is a huge sponsor of the PGA and Workday and all these kind of
waste management.
Yeah, like computer application type stuff that has nothing to do with golf. So, and that ties really well in with NASCAR in terms of developing those corporate relationships and stuff. So I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, very cool. Jordan, so I think the biggest thing that's happened in the last weekend, and probably the biggest story that I've been following, and it's so cool that it got TV time and all sorts of stuff. You were told, a week and a half ago, that, you know what, guys, we just don't have the funding right now. We're going to have to either not make the race in New Hampshire, or we're going to have to start and park it. And just wanted from your perspective to hear what happened at that point. What you did after that, and then what that whole experience has been like.
Yeah, last week, and I posted on my Facebook and Twitter. It was a meaningful weekend at the racetrack with me for a lot of different reasons. But go back to Chicago, we had another good run going. We were probably set to finish 13th or 14th there at Chicago. Had a really good run going. Had a good truck. Had Columbia on the truck, so we should have had a really good night there. But 15 laps to go, riding around under caution, and the motor blew up and let go on us. And being a small team, we had actually run that motor. I think that was the fifth straight race we'd
Wow.
run that motor, which is unheard of
Wow.
in the truck series. Most teams get a new motor every race, but we were beating teams that had Triad Toyota motors and Chevrolet R07s, and here we were with a little small Chevrolet SB2 motor making it happen. But that was the only motor we had. We didn't have a backup motor. We didn't have another one sitting back at the shop, and the money that we were going to use to go race New Hampshire, we had to use to go buy another motor. And I knew what that motor cost, and we've been put in a tight spot a couple of times this year, and have been fortunate to have some one-off sponsors come on board and to help pay for tires and pay for travel to keep this team going. And anybody that's ever watched me race in the truck series, I'm actually sitting here in my shop right now. I've got one truck. We've got a super speedway truck that we'll use at Daytona and Talladega. And we had one earlier in the year that messed up at Eldora several months ago. But I've got one truck, and I've run that truck on the road course. We raced it at Bristol. We raced it at Michigan. We raced it at Pocono. Ran it at New Hampshire. We run that same truck everywhere. Ran it at Kansas earlier in the year. It's been our workhorse. And you got to be a smart driver to take what you can get and pick and choose your battles. And so we're doing a lot on the little and trying to make things happen and get good finishes with it. But that blown motor at Chicago put us in the hole quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a pretty driven guy. Anybody that's ever met me, I'm always trying to stay positive and find the best outlook of things. And I told my owner, I said, "Well, what's the deal? Why do you not want to go to New Hampshire?" He goes, "Well, I got to buy a new motor, and that money we're going to use to go run New Hampshire, I got to use to buy a motor." And I'm like, "All right, well, if I can come up with some money and some sponsorship stuff, can we go run the race?" He's like, "Yeah, if you can make it happen, go for it."
That is
And
awesome.
that was just a challenge to me. I'm the kind of guy, you tell me I can't have something, I'm going to figure out some way to try and at least go make it happen or do my best effort to make it happen. And I spent all day Monday cold calling companies in New Hampshire around the racetrack. I probably made 40 cold calls that day and wasn't having much success. Everybody had either spent their money to sponsor the racetrack or weren't interested. I had one guy, he was so mad that I called him to sponsor races. I guess he's I didn't do my research enough on this company, but they're a old-timey fashion farm where you go there and you got to leave your cell phone at the door, and he was not happy to hear that I was calling about a NASCAR sponsorship. That was not his demographic.
Whoops.
But so I got home and you guys had probably seen the message I put out on Facebook that the situation I was in needed to find some money to provide another sponsor. Any help on sponsorship would be appreciated. And I had this kid on Twitter. His name was Corey Oswalt. Corey tweeted out that he wanted to help. He said, "Why don't you figure out some way to do a GoFundMe or crowdfunding website?"
I saw that tweet.
Yeah, that was what kind of spurred. So Corey was the reason why the Fueled by Fans campaign got started. And I was actually with my family at dinner. We were at the original Pancake House in Columbia, South Carolina, sitting down at dinner. And my sister and I got talking, and my dad and I got talking. I'm like, why don't I figure out some way to create a fan car? And I remember Kenny Wallace did it a couple years ago. And I'm like, why don't we just try to do this? Whether it's $20 or $100, let's see where it goes. And I got home from dinner, probably 10:30. Tweeted some people, what do you guys think? Who's interested? If I had enough interest, I'll do it. And I had everybody and their brother was like, yeah, do it.
Yes,
do
sir.
it. Make it happen. We'll help you out. So I got on my computer. It's probably 1 o'clock in the morning. I built everything off of WordPress, the website builder.
Yeah, PETMpodcast.com is a WordPress website.
There you go. So I got in there and I started working on some stuff, and I got the e-commerce stuff going and started coding a little bit and putting the website together. And by 4:30 in the morning, I had something that was starting to look like a website, and I put all the graphics together. And I think I launched the website like 5 a.m. And by 5:25 a.m., the first donation and partnership was coming in through the e-commerce deal. So it was 20 minutes. And no lie, by I think it was 7:30 that morning, we'd already raised $1,200. And most people weren't even out of bed yet.
Yeah, I wasn't woke up yet.
That's so awesome. I think I saw it. So that was one of the days where I had one of those really fun, like 8:30 conference calls for work. Mm-hmm. So I saw your tweet about the website at like 7:45 a.m. and I was like, I really want to. I think I want to do this. And then, of course, got distracted for like 4 hours by work, and then texted Rusty, and I was like, hey, I think we should do this.
Yeah.
And by then I think you'd already tweeted out like, we're over halfway. Like, this is probably going to happen. And I didn't even talk to you again. I just pulled the trigger and I said, by the way, we just sponsored Jordan's truck, just so you know.
So
that was pretty cool. And so long story short, we got to the very end. I mean, it was up until we got to a certain point where when I tweeted out that tweet, I'm like, I think this is going to happen. You know, if this momentum keeps rolling, we're going to hit that number that we need.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some people that had sponsored me earlier in the year. Telco Connect was one of them, and Night Fire. They stepped up at a larger amount to be on the truck. They're like, let's keep this going. I like this. Let's keep it rolling. And we got enough money where we could at least get the truck going and send a hauler up to New Hampshire. And it was such a last minute deal that we went to New Hampshire with the truck still set up for Chicago. That's how last minute of a deal it was.
Wow.
So we were behind the 8-ball big time at New Hampshire last week, and truck was a handful to drive, but that we were there. That was a big part of it. But the outpouring amount of support that I started to see, people that didn't follow me that started to follow me, and we had Michael Walsh retweeted it, Blake Cook retweeted it, Michael McDowell retweeted it, Danielle Trotter retweeted it. So many people, I think a couple guys that work, at VPs for NASCAR, they were retweeting it. It was super humbling. I'm like, wow, this is taking off. And the website, like 24 hours later, it had 15,000 unique visitors who go to the website.
Wow.
And I was like, man, this is going to happen. And then we got closer and closer and closer. And I think it was the day before we had to leave to go to the racetrack. So it would have been Thursday morning. I was having coffee with Michael Waltrip over in Huntersville, and I respect Michael a ton for what he's done in the sport and the creative guy that he is, and the brands that he's built, and just was kind of picking his brain on some things and getting his advice. And halfway through our conversation, I'm like, heck yeah, like, this is awesome. And Michael, like, what are you talking about? Like, Michael was giving me this weird look. He's like, what are you so excited about? I'm like, look, and we hit the number on the website that we needed to go buy that motor.
Wow.
And it was, I think we had a total, when the truck took the racetrack, we had 118 names on the truck. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to call it. And I was actually, I designed all my graphics for the truck. And I was sitting here at the shop, and I was sizing decals up and putting stuff together. And I'm like, I don't want to just run a blank truck with names on it. I got to figure out some way to make it creative. And I was telling Michael this. He's like, why don't you call it Powered by Fans or Fueled by Fans? I'm like, I like Fueled by Fans. I'm going to put that on the quarter panels of the truck to thank everybody that made this possible. So we had Fueled by Fans on the side of the truck, sponsorjordan.com right below it. And then I had a decal made for the deck lid of the truck. And I'm like, well, I can either type the names or do something like that on there. And I'm like, I want to be creative. I want to personally at least know everybody's name on the truck that goes into this deal. And I'm like, I'm just going to handwrite everybody's name on there. And that was pretty special to see everybody's name and write everybody's names on the truck on there. That was pretty special.
Yeah, well, one of the things we noticed right away when you started this process is that your marketing skills are strong. And so you need to be very proud of that. Also, right now, real quick, love to shout out folks that follow us weekly that were also on your truck: Julie Bosley, Carlton Wilkie, and Catherine Kingston. I saw all of their names on there. I know they pay attention to what we're doing over here on this crazy internet radio show thing.
And we saw Carlton with one of the bigger stickers, and we were like, Carlton, is that like your logo? He said, no, Jordan designed it himself. It was like, whoa, that dude's got all kinds of talent.
Yes.
That was cool as hell.
Yeah, I
was sitting there. I'm like, these guys. I'm like, I can't just make a big block text. I got to make something cool. So I had like the Chiz family was on there and the Smizer family. I'm like, I got to make these guys a cool logo for the truck. So I spent a little extra time and drew them a logo up.
Okay, so we just had somebody on Periscope, Midtown Express, say they were also on your truck. So thanks for being here on the podcast, and thanks for sponsoring Jordan.
I appreciate it.
What? How long did it take you to write all those names?
I started at 11:30 Thursday night, and I finally went to bed at 3:30 a.m. and left for New Hampshire at 5 a.m. So didn't get a whole lot of sleep Thursday night, but got a big dent in the names going on the truck. And then I think Kyle Rickey from PRN took a picture of me. I was still writing names on the truck at the racetrack.
I saw it.
And saw Landon.
Maybe I'm paying too much attention. I don't know.
Saw Landon Castle on the truck. How cool was that?
Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at the website, and all of a sudden, I'm going through. It's like Wesley Ham, Jeff Childers, Lizzie Carpenter, Deanna Racer, J.A. Cannon, Landon Castle. I'm like, surely that's not it. So I can go on there and I can look at everybody's information they send on there, and sure enough, it was like the same driver, Landon Castle. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. So he had his number on there, so I just like copy pasted and I shot him a quick text. I'm like, hey man, I really really appreciate that. He's like, nah, no worries, man. I love what you're doing. So that was pretty special to see that.
I love how you called it partnership too. That was really cool. Like Sherwin said, you're a marketing genius, we'll say, and that was really cool to say. Yeah, I'm a partner on a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series truck.
And I want to do one more mention. Sorry, our esteemed guest from the Darlington Campground show, Jeff Whitler, he put his daughter's name on your truck, so that's very cool too.
Yeah.
We had Ava riding with us up there in New Hampshire. That was pretty special.
That's right. There's a couple of great pictures of you and Jeff and his daughter that have been floating around Twitter, so that's really cool.
So one thing, and Jordan, I'll, maybe it'll make you uncomfortable, but I'm gonna turn the tables on you here a little bit, because from a fan perspective, and I think one of the reasons this thing was so successful, we've been a fan for 15 years or however long we've been fans of NASCAR now, and one of the first things you think of is, man, I sure would like to see my name on a vehicle at some point, on a NASCAR Touring Series vehicle. How cool would that be? And obviously it's, oh, well, you want that? Well, $50,000 for a small race team for one race, blah blah blah.
Yeah, for a C-pillar.
Yeah. so for something to come along where for as affordable as $20 to get put on the truck and have it handwritten on there, and not only that, but the Fox Sports segment on TV. I think people went crazy. I know I went crazy. Sherwin went crazy.
I lost my ish.
We saw people on Twitter all taking screenshots and retweeting that thing when they went over to the truck.
I periscoped that whole segment they did with you in the garage.
And they zoomed in on all the names, which means every one of us was on TV. Of course, we all paused and screenshot and everything of it. The value there was so high for the fans to get that it's just an unbelievable experience. And I know you want to thank the fans. We want to thank you on behalf of at least me and Sherwin, but I think I speak on behalf of a lot of people when I say thank you for the opportunity to be on a NASCAR Touring Series vehicle, having our name on there. We were so giddy, and I think so many people were so giddy. And yeah, people throwing out on the Periscope. PETM Posse was on TV along with 200 and 300 other people. It was so cool, man. So thank you for that as well.
No, I appreciate you guys, and it was so humbling to see all the people that supported it and stepped up to make that possible last weekend. I mean, that was the fans' race car last weekend. That only reason that truck was on the racetrack was because of all the people that stepped up to make it happen, and it was just so cool to look at the people that, just like you said, they were screenshotting, like, hey, look, I'm on TV, I'm on a NASCAR race car, and there were even people at the racetrack like that work on other teams. Like there was Matt Crafton's PR girl, Jessica O'Brien. She was on the truck, and had some other people that I had one guy that worked for Toyota. He was like, hey man, don't tweet out, but I like what you're doing. I want to help you out. And had a couple other people that were doing it. The racing underdogs. They got the Twitter account that follows all the smaller teams.
Yeah. They
stepped up and did it. So it was pretty cool to see all the people that stepped up to do that. And man, it was special. I'm just amazed that it worked out how it did, and how many people got behind it and then supported it, and to be able to have that fueled by fans on the side of the race truck was cool. And I'm planning on doing the same type deal again, either Texas or Miami. Like I'd like to really do it the last race of the year. I think that'd be pretty cool to let everybody be part of this all one more time.
Well, sign us up.
Yeah, we'll probably be there. And the irony is, we probably wouldn't even know who you are, Jordan, as a racer if it wasn't for one of our podcast listeners who took our sticker to Martinsville and took a bunch of pictures with a bunch of drivers. Mm-hmm. And you were one of them. And so we pretty much immediately just started following everybody in that group of people. And you stuck out because you tweet a lot, and we have a lot of value for what you're doing. Just like we've said in the past, that our our favorite truck drivers are Jordan Anderson and Tommy Joe Martins, and there's a lot of reasons for that, and the integrity and the struggle and everything you guys go through to get to the racetrack every week is part of that, because it's impressive to us, and thankfully because of social media and podcasts now and stuff like that, we get to have this interaction, tweet ups, all that stuff that we wouldn't normally get to do, and we're really happy to develop whatever this internet relationship is, and we'd love to see you get to the racetrack. If you got another venture that you're thinking about doing that's going to get you to the racetrack, we certainly want to participate and help out with that.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, and that's honestly been my entire racing career, because I'm just a kid from Columbia, South Carolina. My dad is in property management. My mom owns a hair salon, and the odds of me being in NASCAR and racing in the NASCAR Truck Series and sitting in the top 20 in points right now is completely against the odds.
That's
and
so cool.
I've been incredibly blessed by a lot of opportunities over the years. There have been a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of struggles. But at the end of the day, I'm just blessed to be pursuing after something I love, and I'm definitely wired different than everybody else to keep going after, because I'm either stubborn or I'm really passionate, because I don't ever give up.
We've heard that from a few.
Those are the same thing.
I love the sport.
Yeah. Give us a little more about your driving background and how you got up into the series.
Yeah, so the story of how I got racing is an interesting one. I told my mom and dad at 4 years old. I was actually sitting in the back of my mom's car, and I guess she looked up, and this is her telling it back to me now. I don't remember it being 4 years old, but she was like, I looked up in my mirror, and you're sitting there crying. I asked you what was wrong with you, what the matter was, and I'm like, I want to be a NASCAR driver one day, Mom. That's all I want to do is be a NASCAR driver. And she was like, all right, that's kind of weird. Like, you don't want to be a spaceman or a cowboy? I'm like, no, I want to be a NASCAR driver, which nobody in my family was a racing fan. I mean, I guess I had caught it on TV one day or something, but my dad was a diehard baseball fan, and my dad had played baseball through high school, and he was actually coaching coach's pitch at the time, and he got me into baseball. But I think I was 6 years old, and my parents bought me a yard cart from Ace Hardware.
Oh wow!
And
yeah.
We lived in a suburb. We were right there in Columbia, South Carolina. I lived right across the street from a school, and me being 6 years old, I terrorized the school parking lot.
Hell yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I had it worked out to where the parking lot had islands, and the way it was made out, I had my own little Daytona in the school parking lot. and I would go over there, and my mom and dad had lived in their house for forever, and they knew all the police officers. So the police officer would come over there, and they'd park, and they'd watch me to make sure I stayed out of trouble, and I'd just go over there until I ran out of gas. That was the rule. You can go as long as you run out of gas. When you run out of gas, you got to come in and get ready for dinner. And
that's awesome.
Love that.
I did that and just loved it. Loved cutting laps, and all my neighbors back home in Columbia knew that I liked to drive and liked racing. And one day I was 7 years old. Our neighbor said, "Hey, there's this big it was a WKA race going on at this track 20 minutes outside of Columbia. Why don't you guys go check it out? I heard it on the radio." So Mom, Dad, and myself, we packed up in the car and we rode out there, and we're sitting in the grandstands and just kind of struck up a conversation with another family. And me and this kid started talking, and he was probably 3 or 4 years older than I was, had a cast on his arm, and came to find out he was the World Karting Association national champion the year before.
Wow.
Had gotten in a bad go-kart crash and gotten hit or run over or something, and had a cast on his arm and wasn't racing that night.
Stop you right there real quick, Jordan. World Karting Association is where Allmendinger and Jamie McMurray got their starts, so that's kind of fun. Continue,
there you go,
sir.
Shane. That's where I got my start too.
That's awesome.
But this kid was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go out and practice when I get my cast off in a month. Would you like to come out and try one of my go-karts?" And before my mom and dad could say no, I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come do it."
That's the way to do it. Ask forgiveness, not permission.
That's right.
Long story short, this kid's name is Nick Hutchins, and Nick is now a truck chief on the 18 truck over at KBM.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
Wow.
The number one truck at KBM. And
Yep. So Nick's still in the sport, but we went out there and I drove one of his go-karts and loved it and bought it for $500, and the rest is really history. That was when I was 7 and ran go-karts for a couple of years, won some races, moved into the Bandolero cars that run out at Charlotte Motor Speedway when I was 12.
Yep.
Moved into legend cars at 13. Had a lot of success in legend cars. I think I probably won over 200 races in legend cars.
Good
from
grief.
The Charlotte Motor Speedway, Summer Shootout. I raced places like Hickory, Caraway, Lanier. We ran.
I just
Las
got
Vegas.
goosebumps, by the way, Hickory and Lanier.
For sure.
We ran all over, but won the 2007 and 2008 Summer Shootout Pro Championship out there at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and got some advice from Humpy Wheeler, who was there at the Speedway at the time. He's like, "You need to go run some dirt racing." So I went and raced dirt for 2 years. I grew up racing on asphalt and jumped over and ran dirt late models for 2 years around the Carolinas. And after 2 years, I'd had enough of dirt racing. I was ready to get back on asphalt, and went and bought a super late model and ran a super late model around the Carolinas. Won a handful of races up at Southern National. Won 3 in a row there back in 2012. Jumped up, ran some K&N races and Pro Cup races in 2013, and made my truck debut at Phoenix back in 2014. And here I am a little over 2 years later, still running the truck series. So it's been an amazing journey, and that's the long, short version of it, of how I got to running the truck series.
That's so cool. You mentioned your late dirt background there. Tell us about, and I think you also mentioned Eldora. Tell us about racing at Eldora. What's that like?
I had a bad experience at Eldora this year.
No.
I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Bummer.
It was pretty rough. We got tore up pretty bad at Eldora this year. We got and we hit the wall I hit the wall in practice, and it just messed the truck up pretty bad. And that was a race I like to forget here soon. So
moving on.
Moving right along.
On the dirt. Hopefully, can show that back off again next year, but we'll see.
Did you ever, when you were still in the either the Bandolero or the Legends cars, did you ever go down to Atlanta Motor Speedway for Thursday Thunder during the summer?
Yeah, I ran there once back in 2007, and then ran there twice in a Bandolero car back in 2003. I had my best finish there was second.
2007, there's a strong chance I watched you race.
It probably was. It was me, Chris Boucher, Casey Roderick. There was a bunch of us that were going against Max Gresham. We were all racing against each other down there.
Yeah, so that was the summer after I graduated from college. As a very old college graduate,
As a very
and
old
was about
senior.
to move to South Georgia down about Austin, and we were going down to those races at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the thing I really remember from going down there is seeing Chase Elliott dump somebody in a Bandolero when he was like 9 years old or something.
Yeah.
Jordan, we've got a couple fan questions for you here. A couple folks from we call them the PETM posse. Suzette McGuire at McGuireSuzzette at McGuire Suzette asks, if you weren't racing, what career path would you have chosen?
I don't know. I would probably be an entrepreneur in some shape, fashion, or form.
That fits pretty well to the last
back in
week's worth of stuff.
2014, when I didn't have a lot of racing going on, didn't have any sponsors, I actually started my own marketing company and was doing some consulting and marketing for other drivers and teams. So I've got a real desire of creating businesses and kind of being an entrepreneur. So I kind of hopefully down the road can get back into doing that some more. But I definitely have a passion for business. I love public speaking, could possibly be a public speaker. And I actually go to churches a lot and share my testimony. So I could be a pastor in some shape, fashion, or form. So there's no telling, but definitely either the business side of it. Probably would own my own business, doing something like that, being an entrepreneur, just creating things and being creative, and kind of like if you guys ever watch The Prophet, Marcus Lemonis from Camping World, that guy's like my mentor. Try to go down a path like that. He's a cool guy.
Have you met him? Being he's the CEO of the company that sponsors the truck series.
Yeah, I've met Marcus a couple times. He's
cool.
He's an awesome guy, high energy, very smart guy, and I respect him for all the world. He's an incredible human being.
I'm addicted to that show, so I'm I'm a big fan.
Nice.
He looks like a cool guy. It's cool to see that he is a cool guy. I use cool a lot right there, but that's awesome. Jeffrey Whitler at Whitler_Jeffrey, a past host or a
Father of Ava,
co-host of the podcast, and yes, Father of Ava on the truck last week. Asked of all the drivers in all 3 series, who's given you the best, or who has given you the best advice this year? Anybody that you've talked to that's really given you some great advice?
Probably one guy that's helped me out the most on the racetrack has been Matt Crafton.
Wow.
The guy that drives the number 88 Menards for Thor Sport. Matt's just been a great guy on and off the racetrack, has helped me out through a lot of things, but probably the guy that I would call who has been a really great mentor to me this year has been Robbie Benton. And I don't know how many people remember Robbie, but Robbie owns Rab Racing, and Rab fielded the 99 car in the Xfinity Series for several years. Alex Bowman drove for them. They're the ones that they won the infamous race with Boris Said and the Zaxby's car a couple years ago on the road course. But Robbie switched over, and he runs IMSA, and he has Lamborghinis he runs now. But Robbie's just a really smart business guy, and I've actually talked to him. I think I spent 2 hours with him on the phone today, trying to figure out all the crazy stuff that's been going on about Vegas this weekend. So between Robbie Benton and Matt Crafton, they've been really helpful. And I've got some guys in the garage area that I trust and look up to, people like Michael McDowell, Blake Cook, Carl Edwards. Those 3 guys have been really, really cool and encouraging to me, because it's the NASCAR is just such a cutthroat sport. You're just really fortunate when you can find people that you feel you can trust and take their advice. So those guys have been a huge help to me this year.
What a great list!
That's awesome.
Names. Yeah, what a great list.
You got a couple of Matt Crafton fans on the other side of the microphone here for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
So Jordan, we know in the last, I would say, 24 hours, you've had some fairly new stuff come up, and wonder if you could talk to us about that and what we're looking forward to for the rest of 2016. Yeah,
so I got an unfortunate phone call from my owner this morning. It kind of started last night and could kind of read the writing on the wall, but he basically just said that we weren't going to Las Vegas this weekend, and was not a phone call that I wanted.
Yeah.
And still not sure what everything looks like, but looks like somebody else will be in the 66 this weekend. Was just fueled by from a sponsorship standpoint in the day. So looks like I'll be watching from the sidelines this weekend. And right now, the only races that I know I'm going to be running the rest of the season, I'll be racing Texas and Miami. Everything else is up in the air as to what I'll have. So unfortunate, and definitely was not what I was told was going to happen at the beginning of the year, but that's life, that's racing. Things happen, out of my control and out of my circumstances. But nonetheless, just incredibly grateful for the opportunities that I've had this year and the chance to be at the racetrack every weekend. And I'm a firm believer that God has things happen for a reason, and for whatever's going on, whatever this season of life that I'm in right now, is just a bump in the road. And I grew up, my mom and dad taught me that, when one door closes, another one opens. So for whatever this is all happening for a reason, as difficult as it is, and as much as I'd like to be going to race at Las Vegas this weekend, it's not the end of the world. And, who knows, it might open up the door for a better opportunity one time down the road. So, just going to keep staying positive. I just incredibly blessed that the fans got me to New Hampshire this weekend, and I knew the money that was needed to go to Las Vegas this weekend. It was almost double what we needed for New Hampshire, and wanted to be realistic. I didn't want to be unfair to anybody, and I can't thank my fans enough, and didn't want to take advantage of them, because I know how hard everybody works for their money. So I wanted to save that up and make it special, and that's why I was saying, we'll probably do something at Miami later this year to let everybody have a chance to be a part of it again and go run good. I didn't want to go to Las Vegas and not do things right. So, it just was the circumstances were what they are, and it happens. So like I said, it's not the end of the world. It's just a bump in the road, and just gonna spend pretty much the next couple of weeks trying to figure things out, and I'm not giving up yet. You guys know me well enough. I love that hashtag never give up. That's still the motto. Just gonna be working to keep making things happen, and get back behind the wheel and whatever it is.
And they're throwing it around on the Periscope as well right now. And I tell you what, it's been really cool also to see on Twitter that the amount of response that you've gotten just in the last, I would say, 4 hours that all this news broke and everything. Really cool to see all the encouragement, and it takes a guy with a optimistic outlook like yourself to get that kind of thing. Sherwin?
Sure, yeah, and sort of going on a different direction with we had discussed potentially going to Miami. I don't know if that's still in play. We've been in discussions about Charlotte. We'll probably talk about that later on the show. But we certainly want to see you race again, and so we need you to tell us the best way to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, looking forward to the next time. Jordan, we always ask one thing or one question, the same question to every person who's on the show, and I'm really excited to hear what your answer is on this one. And what's the one thing that you would change about NASCAR? And that can mean that's completely open-ended. It can mean, put butts in the seats, eyes on the TV, make it more fun for you, make it more competitive. Whatever you think would be the one thing you would change about NASCAR.
The biggest thing that I would like to change would be the TV, radio / broadcast setup. And the guys that are on there now, don't get me wrong, they do an awesome job covering the sport. And somebody actually asked me this question on Reddit last time. I go on Reddit all the time, and I try to be active with the fans on my Facebook. If you guys want to know, I'm the only one that has access to my social media pages. My sister has access to my Twitter just in case my phone dies at the racetrack, but I'm the only one that has access to my pages. So everything you guys see, I read.
Oh, that's real cool.
I may not always get a chance to respond to them in entirety, but I see everything, and I appreciate it. But I told somebody on Reddit last night I would love to see race broadcast do a first through 43rd or first through 32nd walk through the field. Start at the guy running first and go all the way through the guy running last and spend at least 15, 20 seconds on each driver and find a story about that driver, about what's going on, their team, what they've taken to get to the racetrack, because there's certain stories between first through 20th, and those stories are the car's tight, the car's loose, this happened. But you get to like the other side of the garage, those guys are mortgaging their houses, they're working 2 jobs, they're doing whatever it can take to get to the racetrack. So if fans had the opportunity to learn more about the other characters in the sport, people say that there's no more throwback drivers. There's a lot of them still out there, but people don't ever get a chance to hear their stories. So if there was a way to share more of those stories with the fans, everybody always, talks about how hard I work. There's several other drivers that work just as hard as I do and sacrifice so much because they just love the sport. And I just wish that more fans could hear those stories and hear the sacrifices that drivers, their families, their supporters are doing and giving to get those guys to the racetrack every week, because racing is a unique sport. Those that love it. And those that, like myself, that want to be in it, they sacrifice their entire lives to get there. And there's a lot of guys that do it. So just being able to share more of those stories, I think more fans could relate, because that's what's been so cool, because I think people can relate to my story, because it's tough for me to pay rent sometimes during the week because I'm putting all that I got into this racing program. So, there's a lot of stories out there. So just if the fans could see more of that side of the garage, I think that would be pretty cool and pretty touching too, because there's a lot of cool stories. And that's what I did, with a guy like Mike Harmon last year. Mike is a diehard racer and gave me an incredible opportunity last year to jumpstart my racing career. And I just wish more people could see that side of the garage area and see the stories that go on back there.
Yeah, for sure. I think NASCAR could definitely do a better job with its broadcast partners of doing, especially like maybe in the first third of a race, doing your 1 through 10, talking about the driver, the teams that have obviously typically spent a tremendous amount of money to be successful in racing in the series. But then let's go 10 through 20, and then let's go 20 through 30 or 31 or however many is in the field. And let's give 2 or 3 sentences about each one of those drivers and those teams and what they're doing. And I think that'll help drivers like you, Jordan, generate sponsorship opportunities because of mentions on the broadcast. But we do a really bad job of understanding the workmanship, the workers' mentality of the teams that show up at the racetrack, knowing that, on the best day they could possibly have, they're going to finish 17th. But there's a lot of feel good in how much work they put into to have that chance to finish 17th. And there's still plenty of opportunity for exposure. These races are on television. So
Right.
why not give them a shot at it?
And that's what like having the names on the truck and having, like I said, Fox Sports go on there. And I think Michael Waltrip was the one that was talking about it.
Waltrip was all up in Twitter.
That was so cool. So, it came full circle there. Jordan, we want to thank you for the time. Not just thank you, but profusely thank you, and get down on our knees and kind of do the we're not worthy kind of thing. This has been really awesome. Really appreciate it. Tell us anything you want to promote, where we can find you on Twitter, the internet, etc., Facebook, all that.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow me. I got Snapchat is J19Anderson. My Twitter is J66Anderson. Instagram is Jordan Anderson Racing, and I'm on Facebook /Jordan Anderson Racing right there. So you guys send me a message anywhere there. I'll favorite your tweet, like your Facebook post. I appreciate what you guys do. And my entire racing career, the number one reason why I've been able to move from the go-karts in Columbia to the dirt tracks at Daytona has been because of people that have gotten behind me and have believed in my story and have believed in what I'm going to try and do in the sport. The book is hopefully still in its early stages of chapters. Hopefully we're still in the first chapter, and there's many more chapters to be written. But the number one reason why I'm at where I'm at right now is people that have taken a chance and have believed in me and have supported in me along the way. And that's going to be my story when I make it to the Cup Series one day, whenever that happens.
I just got goosebumps.
I'm incredibly blessed to have the opportunities that I've had this year, and just people say I'm too nice, but man, I'm just grateful and I'm humbled by the opportunities that I've had to be in the sport and just the people that support me, because it's you say you get goosebumps, man. I get goosebumps every time somebody tweets me and tells me good luck. So I'm just I'm just a blessed kid that loves what he does and gets to go fast.
Well, there's no such thing as too fast. You definitely have two supporters to the end in us. I'm gonna read the book.
Yes,
but I want the book to have about 15 more chapters than what it's got in it right
sir.
now.
We were only on Matthew, Mark, Luke, John right now. Time to write the rest of that thing.
That's right.
All right, man. We'll let you go.
I'll make sure to save an audiobook copy for you guys.
Oh, perfect. We'll play it on
do
the
it on
podcast.
cassette tape because we're old.
Right. Well, man, we'll let you go. Appreciate you so much jumping on. This was awesome, and hopefully we can do it again sometime soon.
Hey, thank you guys. Anytime you guys will have me on there, I'd love to come and keep everybody updated with how everything's going on. And,
Awesome.
and just once again, all you guys that are tuned in, thank you for the support. And thank you guys for letting me come on air and just hang out with you guys. I love talking racing, so I thank you guys. And thank y'all for what you're doing for the sport and letting guys like me and Tommy Joe share our stories. I appreciate that.
Excellent.
Our pleasure,
Excellent.
for sure.
Our pleasure, for sure. Absolutely. We'll talk to you next time, Mr. Jordan Anderson. Thank you very much.
All right. See you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
You too.
Man, how about that guy?
So we're gonna have to pay attention, because if he gets the Miami or the Texas stuff together,
We're going to have to get on a plane.
Well, we may have to get on a plane, and we also need to have him back on.
Yep.
And we may need to go to some sort of in-person availability so we can shake his hand and show him the appreciation that we really
was
want to
so,
show him.
What's so cool, the whole marketing side of it that he's done, getting that background story about him, it would have been really cool if we could have got him even right beforehand or while he was doing all that stuff, but it doesn't matter now. It's really cool to hear that.
We had a
background.
weird schedule last week.
Yeah, so I don't know what to do now. How do you come off of that? How do you follow that up? We're 43 minutes in. We got about 10 minutes left.
10 to 12 minutes of podcasting.
Well, you know what we might as well do then? Let's tear it down from last week.
Yeah, I'm gonna start chugging this Arnold Palmer version of, or John Daly version of an Arnold Palmer.
Yes, sir. We had a lot going on. I wrote down a lot of notes here because we weren't sure with Jordan's sort of last minute news there if we were going to have anything.
I saw this dissertation you wrote over here.
I took a bunch of notes. We'll start in trucks. William Byron at New Hampshire. He moves to the next round. I don't think there's a lot of surprise there, but really cool for him, especially him going to Hendrick next year. I mean, good on him.
What can you say about this? Have we ever seen a rookie come into the truck series or Xfinity or any other series and win 6 races?
No.
Obviously the kid's good. We know he's in the best equipment available. We don't need any feedback about that because we know. Kyle Busch Motorsports builds the best trucks in NASCAR right now. That's fine. The kid still has won like a third of the races or whatever it is. Like, that's pretty damn good.
So Xfinity, Elliott Sadler again.
Dude,
Talladega, Darlington, and now Kentucky
mode.
I hear you.
I tell you what, as much as I follow Spotter Brett and as much as I like Elliott Sadler,
and we got to see him win at Darlington.
We saw him win at Darlington.
So cool.
I'm still mad at myself for not DVRing that race to get to watch it back and see what the TV coverage was and get to see his interview in Victory Lane and all that stuff. Elliott Sadler is the freaking man. All right, and he's going to be the reason I accidentally used the F word at some point, and Rusty has to bleep it out.
And I got to go bleeping out
that one
again.
We can't let slide.
Yeah, I got to bleep the F word.
Elliott's such a cool dude, man, and I listen to all the Dirty Mo Radio stuff that comes out of Junior Motorsports and the radio program they have over there. They have like 8 podcasts, and Dale Jr. Download and the Door Bumper Clear are the ones I listen to right now. And those guys, to hear him talk about how great of a dude Elliott is, it's just impossible to not be happy when he has success.
Yeah. And Suarez second, so he's running well. But the big news, Eric Jones 28th. So
Eric Jones is in trouble.
Got a little bit of a hole to dig back out of. This is only first race.
We're not really doing the news thing, but Eric Jones is in trouble. And everybody else is saying it. Like, if he runs third this week, okay, cool. He's probably not in trouble. But if he gets boogered up again, whether his fault or somebody else's, he's probably not going to make it through.
On to Cup. Since we're kind of doing lightning round here. If you hate me for that,
lightning round.
Harvick 20th last week adds his name to the next round this week. Like, he didn't interview last week, if you remember. Like, he kind of stormed off.
And he was thunder pissed.
Yeah, he was super PO'd the entire week, and then
he finished 30th,
20th. But and then this week, wins the race. Another near miss for Chase Elliott. How close is he?
Goodness,
near
miss for Chase Elliott. He was right there.
He's what, 3 cautions away from 3 last minute cautions from having 3 wins. I'm just saying. He could. I guess what I'm saying is he has 0 wins this season. He could as easily have 3 wins this season.
He's on pace to set the record for top 5s for rookies.
There's no reason he shouldn't. No reason he shouldn't. Which puts him in chase contention because that's what. What if we both got our arms up?
So here's the thing. All right, here's the thing, and we're not going to tidal wave just for the sake of tidal waving, but
no, but still,
he's really good at several different disciplines. He seems to be absolute best at the strange big tracks. We have Charlotte left in play.
Yep,
probably going to be good there. We have Texas. He won there in an Xfinity car in his first shot at it. Well, if he makes it to the last round, we got a mile and a half. Weird mile and a half. If you win at Homestead and you're in the Final Four, what do you win, Rusty?
You win a big old trophy is what you win.
And like $11 million. Oh, by the way.
There's that too. And they do the thing at the billiards hall down in Dawsonville.
Oh, they blow the siren?
They blow the siren, mister. We got a question. Fan question. Pat Cleary, friend of ours and friend of the PTM posse, at PatWolf13 asks, does Truex dump Kenseth if they aren't both part of the Toyota Alliance?
You're damn right he does. But he didn't need to is the thing. If he needed a win, I think we see a different behavior from the racer.
I don't disagree. This one was hard for me. This is a great question, by the way.
Well, the problem is not the problem. The reason why I say what I say is there's a precedent for those teams.
Right. I know. That's what
something happened at Richmond.
After last year's deal.
No, not that. I'm talking about earlier this year. Carl Edwards moved Kyle Busch to win at Richmond. So why wouldn't Truex move Kenseth if he needed the win? But he didn't. And that's why you saw him race him so clean. Every time he got loose, he lifted.
I don't know.
If he was trying to take the win, he wouldn't have lifted. because 8 tires are better than 4.
It's true. I don't know. This question killed me, by the way. I don't think he does. I don't think he does because I don't have a good answer for that.
Taking a spat.
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I would love to. That's what makes this a great
I'm playing
question.
it up to these guys.
That's what makes it a great question. I think if he thinks that he has a shot at winning this race, not by, I think dumping is a bad way to do it. If you can finish
dump's
first,
the wrong word.
If you can finish first and he finishes second, then that's not a dump.
I've used a word. I don't know if you've used it, but I've used a word. And
Move?
Not move.
Okay.
When Carl did what he did to Kyle to win Richmond, I said he harvested one position.
Oh yes.
And I said the same thing about little Nemechek at Mosport. He harvested one position.
Yep. And our guest that day, Kelly Crandall, had no issue with it.
Yeah, and NASCAR people, generally speaking, no matter how pissed they are in the moment, because a win is a win and wins matter.
Yep.
When you only harvest one position, there is an entirely different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Truex felt like he didn't know how to hit Kenseth the right way to only steal the one position.
That's where I'm going with it. Is that he was going to try everything that he could do to get that win, short of dumping. I don't think dumping is.
Here's the thing I think was a problem.
Okay.
Truex was better on entry, and he could get right on him in the middle, but Kenseth pulled him off.
He drove off, yeah.
And what he knew was, I can't hit him until we're going off. Otherwise, I'm going to spin him out.
Right.
If I hit him going in, or if I hit him in the middle, I'm going to spin him out.
But that was the only place he could hit him because he was gone after that, or he would have to spin him out. To your point, so
right. So I think that's what happened. I think Truex absolutely tried his level best to take the position, but knew he couldn't do it forcefully because his car wasn't good enough in the right place, and that's why Carl was able to take a position from Kyle because his car was good on exit.
Yep.
And all he had to do was give him a nudge in the center of the corner, and he knew he would go by him.
Great question. Great question from Pat. Let's gas it up. You ready?
Zoom, zoom.
Here it goes. Whoa. Woo! Getting the RPMs up. Gordon's back at Dover in the 88. That's kind of cool.
Hell yes. We get to watch Jeff Gordon race again.
Yes, sir.
And I'm pretty sure somebody on Door Bumper Clear picked Gordon to win. I can't remember if it was Spot or Bread or
almost
TJ.
Spit out my drink. That's awesome.
But TJ's spotting for Jeff, so I don't think he would have picked him. I think
Spot
Spot or Bread picked Jeff Gordon to win at Dover.
Good for him. Bubble drivers right now in Larson by 5. Larson's in by 5, and right now out is Jamie Mack. I think Jamie Mack's by 5, and then Austin Dillon, Tony, and Busher. The 4 people that the PETM
Smoke
podcast
did a really
guys
weird thing a couple years ago and won at Dover when he never should have.
And he also won at Miami when maybe he, quote unquote, should have. But yeah. So that gets us to the picks. Well, let's wait. Give me 1 second. You know this guy. He's our pick guy. Yes, sir.
Such a good call to fire.
Yes, it is. Give us your pick.
Casey Kane.
That's a great pick. He's been. I was looking at Bob Pockrass's.
He's sneaky fast at Dover.
I was looking at Bob Pockrass's power rankings, and he said
they're actually Ryan McGee's. He retweeted Ryan McGee's.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Okay, and he said, somebody's always the spoil sport here for the chase guys, and Casey Kane looks like he can be that guy this week. I'm picking Kyle Larson. He almost won, and he's on the bubble right now. I think he comes in and says, I'm not a bubble guy, by the way.
Yeah.
So.
I was only picking a guy whose first name starts with K, so I just went through the Rolodex. It was either going to be Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, or Casey Kane, and I just decided to go sentimental.
So we don't have, unfortunately, a fan question. Strange was staying this week. Ashley is
she's in treatment.
Yep.
I believe she's got MS. Is that I don't want to overspeak, but I think she's got an ongoing.
She's got a thing going.
What do they call it? A chronic physical.
Yeah. She's got something going on. She's going through some treatment, and we want to wish her the best. Ashley J. Stang, and Stang Motorsports, and hopefully she comes out of the other end of this one feeling great and doing great and can get back with us for some Strange with Stang, because she wasn't able to send us one this week. I wanted to honor her. I have a 50 questions of would you rather that are some of them are not really safe for podcasts. So, but I want you to give me a number from 1 through 50. And let's answer that question as long as it's safe. If it's not safe, I'll just go to the next one on the list. But
1 through 50.
1 through 50. Give me a number 1 through 50. He's thinking.
37.
37. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to, because this is one of those stupid things that you have like several pages and blah, blah, blah. So I got to find out.
Oh, you don't have to click through a bunch of stuff, do you?
Oh, no. I just got to find whichever page it is. Okay.
Is it good?
I'm gonna ask you that one later, but okay, here we go. I'm gonna go with the one after that. Would you rather smell terrible, but you can't smell it, or your partner smell terrible and you have to smell it?
Oh crap! Either I smell terrible and I'm not aware,
right,
or the exact opposite for my partner.
Right. That's tough.
Well, I'm going to assume that she can tolerate it more than me, so I'm going to pick I smell terrible and I'm not aware. However, in real life, I would be freaked out if I smelled terrible and didn't know.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
suddenly somehow was made aware. What about you?
I would have to go with that too. That would be. It would be
Look,
very hard.
Girls, I'm sorry. And I smell terrible. I'm not. We're not hanging out.
Well, and then it puts the onus on the other person. Unfortunately, so we're being selfish here. It puts the onus on the other person to tell them that you, or for them to tell you that you smell terrible and need to do something about it. Because the reason we don't want them to smell terrible is because we don't want to. We don't want to have to,
Well, the funny thing is, and
we don't want to have to be told.
Completely outside of like, a romance relationship or a romantic relationship. You and I have always sort of kind of struggled, and this nothing related to smells. Sort of like when you know somebody for 15 years, you lived with them and you travel with them and you do all the things with them. It's hard to provide negative feedback because it's like, how's this going to be received?
Right.
And I think we've been getting better at that as we've gotten into our mid-30s.
Sure.
But certainly 10 years ago, it would have been impossible to provide, hey, man, you stink.
Yeah.
Oh, crap, I'll go take a shower.
Sorry.
Hey, man, you just stunk the tent up, man. That sucks. You're right.
Well, we both have stunk up the tent a little bit
sure.
every once in a while. Anyway, let's start closing this thing out, man.
Oh, man, we're already done.
I know. Every week it goes faster.
It goes by so fast when you have somebody like Jordan on.
When you're having fun, that's how it works. Let's bring it up. Real quick, actually, you know what? I'm bringing it back down.
Okay.
I'm bringing it back down.
Oh, no, we have one more thing.
Jose Fernandez.
Okay, so I know I'm more emotional than most men, and I would say I'm a man. I'm 35 years old. I've gotten more emotional as I've gotten older and learned that shedding tears really isn't a weakness. A lot of times it's very therapeutic. I watched D. Gordon hit his home run yesterday.
Oh, man.
And he was balling by the time he got to second base. And
that's his first home run of the year.
It was his first home run. It's the longest home run he's ever hit in his career. And I was bawling my eyes out when I watched him round second base. I mean, full on tears, lump in the throat, making the noise, the like I can't breathe noise or whatever, that noise. And to couple that with a really good friend of ours just recently lost his dad, and couple that with losing Arnold Palmer, which he lived a great life, 87 years old, hard to ask for more than that. All those things, and then didn't really have a fun last couple days with work, and I just have shed a lot of tears. And one of the things I want to be super proud of a team that we root for and is indigenous to us because we grew up Atlantans. Atlanta Braves hung up a Braves jersey with Fernandez's name and number on it in their dugout.
16. Yep.
And made a very big point out of remembering him and how much respect that everybody that's ever met him had. And I'm going to try not to cry now so we can finish this show.
Let's do it.
But we really wanted to shout out to Jose Fernandez and his family. Very tragic. Was probably going to be one of the best pitchers ever.
You know what? I promised something on the Twitter box, and I'll do it right now as we're closing out. The number 65 car. This is PETM number 65. Number 65 car, Carl Adams. Not a whole lot of people drove the number 65. He did 19 races in 1975. An original California kid. He was born in National City, California. Raced at El Cajon Speedway near San Diego in the early 60s.
Which is where Jimmy Johnson is from.
Yes, sir. He was renowned after that season for his engine building. He went to work with the Burt Reynolds, Hal Needham Skull Bandit team.
Needham!
Tell me about
Needham.
that. Huh?
That is awesome. The Bandit Boys.
He drove for Travelodge, was his sponsor, and I posted a picture of his car. It is one
blue and red
B.A.
Ford Gran Torino is what it looked like.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Also, we want to shout out U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Kenny Smith. He didn't race this past weekend, but he's got a big docket ahead of him.
Yes, sir.
We wish him luck in getting to all those races and getting them finished up. Top 10 machine.
Top 10 machine. He's got a promotion going on by Seabreeze 27. He's going to match the first $125 to support Kenny. That's
awesome.
Huge. That's huge. So get in contact with Kenny at USMC Kenny SGT. And let's start closing out, man. Give me them jelly beans. We'll do the old jelly bean closeout challenge.
I get a mouthful of this jelly bean
Yes,
closeout
sir.
challenge we missed last week.
Tom, where you can find us?
All right, y'all. Well, you can find us, obviously, a PETM podcast on the old Twitter and the Periscope. You can find me, Andrew Sherwin, at Pregame ENG.
You can always
capitalize that second E. And Rushy?
At Tailgate Mayor, spelled Tailgate Mayor.
Yeah, that's tough right there.
Y'all know where to find us online, PETMpodcast.com. Download us on iTunes, the Google deal, Podbean.com, Facebook, YouTube. We got the YouTube channel going. You can find us wherever. If you ain't found us, you ain't looking.
Yeah, if you Google PETM Racing Podcast, I promise you'll find it.
We will talk to y'all next week. Thank you, Jordan Anderson.
Jordan Anderson's the man. Thumbs up.